Good to see this face.
Unfortunately.
I've seen every face for longer than that. Okay, so we've got a visitor. You want to tell us about yourself?
I'm Barbara, and I'm a wannabe. I just go and hang out at her house and watch.
What's scary?
Glad you're here with us. Yeah. Anybody else? Anybody else? I'm talking really loud because I did not bring the speakers and microphone.
I got a visitor I'd like to introduce.
Okay.
Doing the camera back there is my daughter, Rebecca. She's a woodworker, a welder, and an aspiring set designer. Hopefully someday for Circle Theater, and she also works at Bass Hall.
Well, we're glad you're with us tonight as well. So, you want to talk a little bit about money and which way we're going with it on memberships? Or you want to just,
I could, but I just want to do it.
okay, so
Next time.
next month when we start re-upping our membership, we've got these ways right here. Do they have? Can we send these on with them? Anyway, if you have a way to use your phone to scan this and make your payment that way, that's great. But Jack would really appreciate it for January if we either pay with cash or a check. That way we get your application, we get your money, we give you a receipt. And that, there's no.
We're gonna have a renewal form just because the names will change, addresses, telephone numbers, whatever. So there'll be a new form next year, same form, just it'll have 20.
Will those be emailed out as well?
I can.
And how much is the dues again?
$48.
48 for them.
We didn't even go up. Can you believe it?
We get a senior discount?
No.
How about a veteran's discount?
Everybody in here would get one except for RPL.
So next month, a little bit earlier, so we could.
Okay, so today we can do it?
You can do that.
You want?
Do you have the membership forms today? Sure. Okay. Yeah, we can do that.
For next year, you know?
Yeah. Great. Yeah, so the way it works, both clubs that I've been part of, they do the beginning membership fee, then it rolls around the next year, you still owe that fee for the coming year. But if you're a new member, let's say you don't become a member until March, then those months have been prorated $4 each month. So each time we get into the year a little deeper, it costs a little bit less to become a member, which is only fair to them and to everybody else. So just remember that next month either bring a check or cash. If you can't do that, we'll do the electronic payment.
I think there should be a 20.
So
It's not been used, it's about the same.
Can we just wait?
You can tell that Bobby's got our presentation tonight. I said something dark and mysterious. He just told me he was doing a few shop visits and then something else. He didn't say what it was going to be, so I called it dark and mysterious. Dennis, you have anything to talk about?
Well, at the very end, we've got a ducktail joke that's donated by Steve Mills. So at the very end, we're going to draw one name.
Usually would take pictures of the presenter and all that so that I can put it in our scribbler. Could you, like, if you're taking pictures, could you just send me what you've got? Or should I take
I'll send it down.
Cliff, you got anything to add? No? Jay?
Yes.
You have anything you want to say? Jeff? You got anything you want to talk about?
Merry Christmas. Oh my God.
Jeff is working on a new type of Google email that is way beyond my understanding. But if you, is everybody receiving an invitation for that, or are you just doing a?
There's 7 people that haven't accepted yet, so we're very close.
We'll have an altar call for those who are excited. And we'll pass the plate.
I just noticed the cover on I like it. I just noticed it. That's good. I like it. My wife will wear those.
Fashionable.
So anyway, if you get this invitation, you need to respond back to him, else you're gonna likely miss out on the emails during the year, and you might miss some important messages, like when the Lord sent my birthday present.
Exactly.
Okay, well, that brings us to our presentation, if you're ready.
All right. Can everyone hear me through that little speaker there?
No.
No? Well, I'll talk real loud. All right. Gonna start tonight's presentation. I'm a little bit of a history buff. And let's see, how's that? Better? Can you hear me now?
That is better.
Can you hear me now? Hello. Okay. So, in kind of in conjunction with some of the things that I've been looking at this month, I will get to the table of stuff here in a little bit. But one of the things that I'm really interested on, I know that there's all sorts of things that you can find online, videos, and there's good information out there, and there's some not so good information out there for people that think they know what they're doing. But I wanted to introduce you to some books that I have, and once I'm done reading them, or anytime you want to borrow them, you're welcome to. First one that I want to show you, this one is Paul Seller's book. It's a hefty read. This one is called Essential Woodworking Hand Tools. And this one has just anything you might want to know about. Nice color, slip pages, and he goes into some serious detail about each one and how to deal with each one. If you're looking to do the hand tool thing, this is one of those books. Now, it's pricey. This one costs quite a bit, and if you're interested in it, come ask me what I had to pay for it afterwards. I don't feel good professing it in public. Because somebody might tell my wife.
Your dog?
Essential Woodworking Hand Tools by Paul Sellers. And if you've ever watched any of his videos, just really good hand tool woodworking stuff. Here's one, if you guys are familiar with Fine Woodworking magazine. One of the creative designers is a guy by the name of Mike Bekovich. This is one of his books that you can pick up at Woodcraft, called The Why and How of Woodworking. Now, the great thing about Mike is that he is not a hand tool only, snob, if you will. If he needs to cut something on a table saw, he will. If he needs to cut something on a bandsaw, he will. But some of the things that he says in his why and how show the idea of, hand tool woodworking is kind of that finesse thing, rather than doing everything for the purpose of mass production, which tends to be what we do with electric tools nowadays. I mean, not that you can't finesse with a table saw and with, a chop saw and things like that, but he does go into why are you woodworking? What are you doing? Are you doing it as a business? Are you doing it as a craftsman? Are you doing it as an artist? Are you doing it because it's a hobby you just enjoy? And he gets into the why and how, and only you can answer that question, but this is a really good book as well. Another one, this is again on the hand tool front. If you've heard of a woodworker named Graham Blackburn, he's put out a series of books. The Illustrated Workshop, this one is volume 2, called Woodworking Hand Tools, which is very similar to what Paul Sellers put together. This one, he actually goes and found drawings of a lot of these tools. Here's some samples of that. And just really interesting detail. Again, if you're into, you know, where did woodworking craft come from? This is a good one. He's also got a book that is an encyclopedia of hand tools. He's got another one on furniture making. He's got another one on just, the series is 5 volumes, and just one volume is about that big. So you can see that one. Graham Blackburn, and he's got a YouTube channel as well. Really interesting stuff. The Illustrated Workshop, and this happens to be volume 2, called Woodworking Hand Tools. And finally, if you've heard of a fellow by the name of Tom Fidgen, this is his book called Made by Hand. Again, in the hand tool type of aesthetic. This one is Made by Hand by Tom Fidgen. He's got some really good, again, just full color illustrations. He's just got another really teacher's type of approach to teaching you hand tool woodworking, Made by Hand by Tom Fidgen. So those are some books that I wanted to share with you guys and make you aware that they're out there. And with that, I want to go and show a shop video here, give my voice a chance to rest, my dulcet tones. And this is one that we just did a couple of months ago. This is Jim Polanco.
Nice.
And welcome to my shop. I'm a proud member of the Chisholm Trail Woodworkers, and I welcome you all here. Okay, obviously I am a space challenge, and when I first bought this saw, this is my table saw. When I first bought it, it had this cheap, ugly fiberboard table that had a bowl in it. I still have it. I'm going to cut it up and use it for something else. So I wanted a workbench, but of course having room for it is another story. So I swapped it out, put a vise, and now this is my workbench. And of course the table saw. And this is something I'm real proud of. This is, I found this on sale, this cast iron wing for my table saw that fit perfectly, and it had the opening for a router table. And it worked beautifully, and it still works beautifully. And what happened, my wife saw how much I liked this, so one Christmas, she bought me the Incra router lift, and presented me with a challenge, because the handle on this side of the table saw that moves, that tilts the blade, was in the way. The router lift couldn't sit properly. So I removed the handle and then built this box around it and mounted the handle here and attached it with threaded rod to the arbor, so now I can tilt my saw from here like normal. Right, and of course this is now the switch for the router and dust collection. So when I use the router, I have a router fence that I attach to here. We'll probably see that later. And
I love the color match.
this is like this here, I love this. This is a joiner. This joiner was given to me by Rick, the carpenter, a member of our club. He had taken it apart and was going to put one of those spiral heads in it, and for some reason couldn't get it to work. So he bought a new one, and he wanted to get rid of this. So he offered it to the club. I came and got it. I put it all back together. It had some missing parts and whatever, and I found a site where you can buy replacement parts for just about anything. And so now it's all original equipment. It's all refurbished, and it works perfectly, beautifully, and I really like it. Now,
No, I put the original head back in. I know people have trouble setting up their joiners. I will never have that trouble with this joiner because I used the dial indicator, and when I remounted the I made sure it was perfectly true to the outfeed table. So that means when I put the blades in, I don't have to jiggle it. As long as the blade and the bottom of the blade and the edge of the blade are parallel, they just seat, tighten, done. This is my small tool dust collection. Of course, this drill press, I belong to another club, and this was the grand prize one year, and I won. Top of the line jet, it's beautiful, I love it. Of course, it's on wheels like everything. Somebody had offered one of the clubs his shop. He was selling his entire shop, and I ran and got, when I saw this with the extension, this is a beauty, and I really like it. Of course, over here is my dust collector, and I haven't used this chop saw very much, and I want to set up a chop saw station, and we'll get to the table where it's going to land over there eventually. But of course, this is my chip separator, my planer, and here another. This is my lathe station. I've upgraded a couple of times from the original lathe that was given to me by someone that was just throwing it away. And of course, I set up my grinding station, CBN wheel. I really learned a lot over the years. And this is my hand tool planing tools, which I'm very proud of. I have one of each. Right? I have a Stanley #1.
Breaker.
A 1, a 2, 2 3s, 3 4s, 4 1/2, 5 1/4, 5 1/4, 5 1/4, 5, 6. Oh no, this is 5 and 5 1/2, and then a 6, 7, and an 8. And then, also, anybody who uses plates has to have at least one Lee Nielsen, so I have one jack. Because to get a low angle jack plane, I wanted one with a superior blade to do that heavy sort of removing all my spoke shaves, shoulder plane, router plane.
And then these down here just didn't make it show.
No, this one was on sale recently, and so I picked it up for very cheap, and it's been thermalized, and I just haven't found a spot for it. And this one is going to get refurbished and probably give it away to someone. This is the number 4. I have plenty of 4s. I don't need another one. But when I bring this up to its natural beauty and functionality, I will give it to someone. And I know there's a guy in our club that uses hand tools only, and he's a beginner. And I spoke to him about, I have extra chisels and junk and planes. Would he like some of it? He said yes. So he's going to get a couple of things from me. Not to mention a plane.
All right, we're going to hold you to that, by the way.
Absolutely.
All right, well, everyone join me in thanking Jim for letting me All right, one more shop tour, and then we'll get to the dark and mysterious table over here. All right. So we had somebody volunteer to do their shop just this week. So I did a video. Hope you enjoy it. Oh. Okay. Hello, I'm Bobby, and welcome to my shop. I'm gonna give you guys a little tour around here and hopefully see what it is that I'm up to. This is where my shop is. It's in a 2-car garage, and this is a quick look from the entry door. Here is my library section. Lots of books and things. Of course, the shop rules. Got my routers and router bits and things here. As we come along, there's one of the projects I'm working on, some frames for my daughter, the freezer. Got my grinder over here, which is kind of varied by some things. I didn't take any time to clean up the shop today, just letting you know how things kind of live out here. Got my collection of tape measures, some other things up here on the wall. Here is one of my workbenches, and as you can see, it is in a state of disarray, but that's kind of how I roll with things from time to time. Didn't want to put on airs today. Got the shop entertainment up there, got some things hanging from the ceiling, license plates. I have a shop-built cabinet that I designed off of Nick Engler with some pegboard on the inside and outside to hang a few things here and there. Really helpful in kind of doubling space. There's some clamp storage there. Got my drill press here, and over here this way, have to share some room with some scooters, and that kind of takes up a little bit of space in the shop, but you gotta get things out of the weather. Coming back around, on the opposite side from the workbench, this is my table saw. Keep it covered as best I can so that when I put junk on it like this, it's protected. Got some projects up here that I'm working on, including an ornament holder that I hope turns out well. I'll let you guys know at one of the meetings. This is my lathe station. Got a Rockler 1224 lathe with some various turning tools underneath. Got an air compressor to run various air tools, nail guns, just to blow solids out, things like that. Over here across from the lathe, got some small parts storage. Got a grinder that's not in use right now, air compressor, more small parts storage. Up here on the wall, got some cabinetry that I built. Over here on the edge of the small part storage, it's where I keep adhesives. This other cabinet here is more small part storage with some trays that I leave out here. Some of you guys might recognize that cyclone that I got from the drawing at the end of the year banquet. Still working on getting that implemented with this dust collector here. Over here, I've got my scroll saw. Been using that to make some projects here and there. I've got my drills up here, and then better look at some of the cabinet storage. Over here in the corner, Craftsman toolbox. This is where I keep mechanics types tools. And then here, I've got my 10-inch bandsaw. And then in this corner, there's the outside door, and then I've got a plane till down here that I'm trying to find a better spot for. And then some red tools from that company in Ohio. Up here, I've got some molding planes that I got secondhand, and then I've got another set of Craftsman toolboxes that I keep some welding gear in. Here's another cabinet locker that I built. On the outside, keep some chisels and such, and on the inside, keep a few more planes and a few more chisels. Got my mortising chisels there. Got my bench chisels there, and I've been really happy with how this cabinet turned out since it was something that I built. Up here, we got my mini split. Today is 40 degrees outside, and the mini split is keeping it nice and warm in here. So I've really enjoyed that installation. Over along this wall, I've got some lumber storage, and then some more storage in the corner for the scooters and such. Got my planer on a flip-top cart with an oscillating sander down there. Got another bandsaw here that I just acquired from my aunt who lives in Oklahoma City. It's a Powercraft. I'm working on restoring that. Got a miter saw on a shop-built stand there. Got my tubs of scrap wood right here. Then in this area, I've got a larger jet bandsaw, and everything here is on wheels so that I can kind of move things around, including this shelving unit. I've got various things on there, including benchtop sanders that I get out when I need it, things like that. This big dude back here is a clamp cart that I built off of a Norm Abram design. Lots of clamps. I enjoy it because it kind of keeps most of my clamps in one place other than the ones you saw on the wall back there. As I turn around this way, in the center of the shop, I've got my hand tool workbench with a Christmas present that I'm working on for my wife, and entryway table. In this drawer, I've got various hand saws and whatnot. Got some other hand saws there and a honing guide for sharpening hand planes and chisels. And then on the end here is a sharpening station where I get everything good to go there. And so that is a tour of my shop. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And we'll see you tomorrow. That's where a lot of this is sitting.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, I hope you guys are enjoying the shop tours and visiting our YouTube channel where you can. So let me make sure I got this back on the old correct input. There we go. All right. There we go. Okay. So, my history, if you will, my grandfather, or my great-grandfather, Jesse Barr, was a Baptist preacher at a church in Ozark, Arkansas. He had 3 boys, Willie Cliff, Art Lee, and Octo Davis, and that's how you have to say his name, Octo. I don't know why, but everybody in the family calls him Octo. Well, Willie Cliff was my grandfather, and he was a truck driver for the longest time. And his route took him across Interstate 40 before it was Interstate 40, up and down Interstate 35 before it was Interstate 35. So if you're familiar with the old U.S. highway system, he was a truck driver. And he met my grandmother at a truck stop in Oklahoma City, and they got married. And then he retired from truck driving and decided, you know what, I don't want to sit idle. So he started doing house building, carpentry work, things like that. He passed away in 1977, and by that time, my father had moved my family to Tulsa, Oklahoma. My grandfather lived in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. And it was one of those situations where, you know, father and son didn't talk a whole lot. So when my grandfather passed away, he had a lot of tools. And my father thought, you know, it'd be nice if I got some of those tools, but family estrangement, years go by, people don't talk, whatever. My father passed away in 2018, having never reconciled with his father, some 40 years on. But he always said, one of these days I'm going to build myself a 40 by 40 shop, and I'm going to have my own wood shop. He never did. And so, one of the things that happened before my father passed away, I said, Dad, you know, you've got a lot of these woodworking tools, and he had things like a table saw, and a band saw, and a miter saw that dimmed the lights when you turned it on, that type of thing. And I said, Dad, you know, you haven't built your 40 by 40 shop. Can I just have your woodworking tools and I'll just go into woodworking myself? And he went, no. He said, if you're going to get into woodworking, you're going to buy your own. Which, as it turns out, was probably one of the better pieces of advice he ever gave me. Because when I did come into his woodworking tools when he passed away in 2018, like I said, the chop saw dimmed the lights. The table saw did a little bit better than that. But in any case, I said, okay, well, let's get rid of this aluminum top table saw, and I bought that Delta that you saw in the video. Let's get rid of this Craftsman chop saw that might blow a fuse at any given moment, and I'll buy me a Harbor Freight Hercules. And so slowly but surely, replaced this, replaced that. But I always wondered, what happened to my grandfather's tools? Well, we had a family reunion just this past November. And my Aunt Vera is the surviving child of my grandfather, Willie Cliff's family. And she says, hey, you're into woodworking now, aren't you? And I said, yeah. She said, well, I've got all the grandpa's old tools. Okay. Why don't we just go over to the shop where her late husband had said basically, do not sell these when he dies. Do not sell your father's tools. Well, she talked to her kids about it. No, we don't want any of that. She talked to some of my other cousins about it. No, we don't want any of that. So when she asked me back this past November, do you think you might like Grandpa's old tools? I said, well, sure, what do you got? And so what I thought was that this was it. A couple of old saws, a crosscut saw, and a rip saw. And you can see here, you know, old distance saws, you know, missing a rivet. This one, handle's busted. And I thought, well, you know, something's better than nothing. So I said, well, sure. And she said, well, now you know what my other property. I think I've got some other tools. So, just highlight a few things that we got going on here. Here's an old draw knife. I had no idea my grandfather had a draw knife. You'll love this one. This looks like a number 4 plane. And then when you turn it over, I don't know how I'm going to restore this one, but I'm going to give it a go.
Gary can fix it.
Gary can fix it. The block plane is interesting because it's one of these that looks like, you know, no screws, no nothing, you know, just held in there with friction fit, you know, that type of thing. So I got to figure out, okay, how does this thing work? A couple of old combination squares. This one I was really excited about. This guy right here. You know, it looks like it's got this depth gauge intact. This is a Craftsman that is a copy of what would it be, a Stanley 78. But anyway, neat. This looks, I don't know if this is a 7 or an 8, but it's somewhere in that realm.
Wow.
So, corrugated sole, that type of thing. Then I've got these, no idea, I think there's some sort of rasp. This is called a Sureform. So, some of you might know how they're used and if it's missing parts. I think I saw some of these, some of them came with a handle back here, I'm not sure, but like I said, haven't had kids for very long, I'm still doing research.
I think they use remove skin from your hand.
We've got an old fish tape, you know, I'll have to replace my Klein fish tape with that dude. This is my grandfather's level. The glass and the bowls are still intact. So, gotta love that. And I think it was Ronald, you knew what this dude was. Anybody else know what this dude is right here? There we go. Looks like it's a torture device from the Machiavelli days. So
Great.
tell us what it is again.
Nail puller.
Nail puller or staple puller. I've actually used it before on fencing with old farmer that I worked for when I was first working. That he had tools like that. When we were like replacing fence, we used that to pull the staples out of the fence post.
Wow.
That's great. So that was part of the reason I brought some of this stuff up here. Was like, what in the heck is that? So we've got a couple of coping saws that you can see here. A couple of, I'm assuming these greenwood hatchets.
Can you juggle them?
I can do anything once. And moving along here, we've got a couple of, now Gary, help me out, what are these called? The screwdrivers?
Screwdrivers.
Yeah. Just screwdrivers. You know, back before electricity was invented, I guess. So, you can see those there. Files. I love these. This looks like both of these are single cut. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. But nice handles, intact. Got some bits and braces here. This one is an old, I think this one's a Stanley. Or it might be, okay, Companion it says there. So, still as loose as the goose, and the chuck works great on them. Some old chisels here. Then, I love this one. There's a quarter cable. Circles all.
Oh,
If the lights go out, forgive me.
oh
Put a regular blade on it.
No break.
There you go, 11 seconds from the time you release the trigger.
Sounds pretty good.
That was one thing I was told about my grandfather, is he kept his tools in good shape. So, that's that. This old Craftsman toolbox. These tools have nothing to do with anything other than it's an old toolbox and I put some old tools in it.
You know what kills me is you're calling that an old toolbox. When I started mechanic, that's what I fed my kids with, was a box like that.
Right?
I've still got one.
Okay. Here's another trivia question for anybody that knows.
I can't see it.
Hand for ratchet.
I have no idea. It was in the toolbox.
It's called a nut butter.
Yeah, it says it's an Enterprise nut butter cutter. Feel free to come up and look at it afterwards and let me know what you got. I love these wooden handled screwdrivers. I don't think I have a complete set, but I dig them. I really do. Couple of the nice folding rules with this under the camera here. Got that, I'm assuming a depth gauge on the end, but they're still in shape where they will stay, they will keep their shape when you put them in shape.
Is it a Lufkin brand?
What brand?
Lufkin?
Look it.
There's one with numbers on it. This one's a Lufkin,
No, still a bar.
so there you go. Old Samson Speed Square, another block clean. I love this guy. Big honky dude. Old Swanson egg beater grill.
You know, I still have one from the day.
This one, this Stanley, was my father's that he used for years. But it belongs. It belongs. It's all in the family. So that's those two boxes. Now I got this box and a couple more just like it, which is where a lot of these came from, but the other ones, the bottoms had rusted out. So this is the only one that was kept off the floor, so the bottom is still intact. So let me shift some of these over and we'll do our best to get this under the camera. Another rule. Another Lufkin. Some chalk line, things like that. But then in here, two saws, a rib saw and a crosscut. And then somehow this one made the cut, but it's a plastic handle. So, but it's still a distance.
Sure, it's plastic or big line? It looks like
My wife wouldn't let me get away without taking one of the hammers. So, I dig it. I like the fact that this thing has a holster. Good old plum. And then steel tape. Still in good shape. Let's see what else we got here. All right, a couple of things. Do I have that right set up? No. Power Grab, Montgomery Ward,
Oh my gosh, that one's old.
in the original box.
Crazy. Wow.
So, now, that one was in the original box. I'm assuming this one didn't have the original box, it was built the box. So,
That's crazy.
there you are.
Nice.
And then, what I'm going to start with to kind of resuscitate some of these saws. Triangular file. Saw set. So, I was rather excited to get my hands on all this, not just because they're old tools, and not just because they can still be daily users, but because they belong to my grandfather. So, thank you all for indulging me, and feel free to come up and take a look here in a little bit. Thank you.
On the subject of old tools, has anybody ever seen a 9-inch combination square? Stair? 9-inch. This says that she has.
I try to convince my wife that I have 9 inches.
If you find a stair combination square that has this diamond texture, instead of being a wrinkle finish or a smooth finish, this square was made between 1930 and 1940. That's pre-World War II. That's pre-Pearl Harbor.
Nice.
That's when I have no idea when they quit making a knife. can currently buy 4, 6, 12, 18, 24, 36, 48 in a combination square from L.S. Sterrett. L.S. Sterrett invented the combination square in 1886.
Nice.
I like what that says.
Let's take a quick little break and, who all got spitting with? After we take a small break, we'll be swinging with.
That's it, yeah. My grandson's being my photographer tonight. This is what I have termed a party box. I custom make them. They hold napkins, the plates, the cups, the silverware for when you're serving at a party. Whether you're doing it for Christmas, whatever holiday, right? I had a friend of mine who was wanting me to build something like that because she always has big groupings. So I made it for her, and then she showed it to a friend, and now I got 6 more to create. So anyway, so that's it. This is out of ambrosia maple. I cut it, and then what I did is I used, thank you, Gary, wherever you are. He taught me how to do the potatoes so I can get these cut and put in there, put some feet on it, and then did the handles that I had. Actually, it's some handles that I bought from my house that didn't fit. So I've been reusing them in my shop. So now I'm making these kinds of things. So it's just one of the things that I've done.
Would you finish it?
Oh, this one's finished with it's switched pine. So really, really light stage to bring out the wood for the ambrosia.
I'm Paul Long. I don't play chess. I don't play checkers, but I said, you know what, I'm going to go chessboard. So this is my first little thing into boxing also. So it's just some fingered maple that I cut up into squares, put it on a form, and then poured epoxy on there and sanded and sanded and sanded and sanded some more. And then built a little frame for it to sit into. Not quite to the turning abilities of making my own chess pieces. So I 3D printed some. I didn't bring those with me though, but yeah, that's it. So just finished with some white on poly. I just,
What kind of epoxy did you use?
I don't know what, it's whatever woodshed sells. So I bought some there, got a little, the black onyx, the powder, mixed it in there. I like orange, but there you go.
Nice to have.
Oh, appreciate it.
Is there anybody here who has never made a bandsaw? Ever? Anybody know? I just finished this one today, and there's still some more work to be done on it. But I brought it to show you a few things that can go wrong. What you can do about it. This has a hidden drawer in it. When I cut the plug that formed this box from this paste, the first thing I do is mark the top. Because when you get it away from that and start to cut, you can make it like this. And it just won't hold very much. Oops. On this one, take a little look at it. You can see right here, this has got a knife edge on it. This does not. It's got a nice edge. And I've done this several times before. The mistake I made every time. Don't do it that way. Do it. What causes that is when you put the blank down. Of course, think of it with these sides are removed. You're going to take the cavity. You're going to start with a curve. It's important that the curve goes through there with the blank flat on the table. If you don't, if you tilt it, the mistake gets worse the higher you go. It's magnified. With a bandsaw. But, so I'm setting it on here, but if I tilt it like that, this cut, and it's easy to do because you're pushing it and trying to turn it at the same time, you're going through two planes at the same time.
Sure.
And if that tilts just a little bit, you wind up with that knife edge. I think this one is pretty stable, even though that's very thin. If I dropped it like that, it might break. But,
Don't do that.
don't.
Yeah, don't do
But, you know, it still looks fairly good if you don't know what to look at. You said, "Why don't we do that?"
Okay, I'm Steve Bills. I make stuff on the lathe mostly. This was a Christmas tree ornament I made a while back. And I want to tell you, the little bitty eye hook in the top there, I didn't plan ahead for that. So I didn't make a hole in the bottom so you could screw it in from the bottom. So I had to screw it in. It took forever. So future ones that I have made, the finial is a little bit bigger, so I can plug it with a hole and get in there with my long needle nose pliers and screw it in. But it's got a little star inside. But
Don't do that.
yeah, it's like they're actually pretty simple. I mean, other than doing the finials, a little more challenge. You drill the holes, you make your blank perfectly square, you drill your holes first, and then you turn it.
Nice.
Just as easy as that, huh?
Just as easy.
Just as easy as being perfect. So, I mean, I'm James, because as y'all don't know me. Traditionally, at our PD, in a lot of PDs, the sergeants will usually buy something for their shifts. Guys during the holidays, I prefer to make stuff if I can. And so I just threw some of these together. They're like the Cracker Barrel peg games, but with shell casings. And then I just made it, put it on basically I just cut a 12-inch section of common board and put each school, because I'm assigned to schools now, so each one of my guys has a different school they're at, and they're gonna have the school's logo and then I hit it with a torch, black, so. And then there's like one coat of shine. So. Don't do, since we're on don't do's, depth stop your drills so they don't go all the way through. The other ones I did, I depth stopped, and this one I was missing, I was like, oh. So then they all just became go-throughs.
So Clip says don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. So the logo and the name and stuff is, if you haven't seen it, they've been bombarding because it's maker season. Facebook, it's called Scorch Paint. And it's basically a gel that you cut a stencil out and then you can paint that gel on there. And then you hit it with a heat gun and it burns it blue. So if you don't have a laser engraver or something, then it's actually not a bad little alternative.
Yeah, it works better too when you cut it with the torch like you've done.
My wife, she has a Cricut, and so she just does the vinyl stencils. And then I just paint it. Sometimes with these little bitty deals, you gotta pick it out and stuff. But it works. And I didn't have a whole bunch of money to put on a laser engraver.
Can y'all move this way, because get more toward the center, because we're not able to see on this side.
See?
Publicity hog.
Thank you.
Oh, I forgot my name, guys, but Walter remembers who I am. Jim Farrell, and I brought these primarily because, and a lot of you probably saw my question on Facebook about these recipes. I had a customer reach out to me and ask me if I could do these, and I said, sure. Well, they're from grandma and great-grandma, and you can imagine what the original recipes look like. So I reached out on our Woodworkers deal on Facebook, and the young man, I don't know if he's a member or if he just belongs to the Facebook group, but his name is Jeremy Callahan. I was able to do 2 of these, but there were 2 of them I just flat could not do. So anyway, he helped me get these to where I could get them on
Those are cool.
one of them's the other person. To get them on to make an SVG out of them and be able to label them. So, anyway, hopefully my customers happy with them. I'll reach out to them or that I've got them done, and I haven't heard back from them yet. So, anyway.
What kind of wood did you use on that, Jim?
Ma'am?
What kind of wood did you use?
This is just basswood.
Okay.
And the reason I did it on this is because the few that I've done for other people want them like to put in their recipe book rather than, and I did one on a piece of acacia. Actually, I had a piece of acacia that didn't have a lot of, acacia's got a lot of different colors of wood in it. Sure. And they don't often laser well or router well, either one. So, but anyway, I did one on a piece of acacia that I found that was pretty clean, and it was like half-inch thick acacia, and it turned out well. But anyway, yeah, these are just that cheap basswood that you can buy on Amazon. So anyway, I don't know who the young man is, and I hope I can find him.
My name's Gary Turner, if you may not know this. In Jim's shop tour, he said one of his planes had been terminized. Okay? Terminized amongst the other club means that it'll do that.
Yeah.
If you're chisels and you're trying to do handwork, can't do that. They're not sharp enough. We were at Dennis's shop working on the Purple Heart bench. I was one to do the inlay, picked up the very best chisel that he had, which is a Marple, newest, brand spanking new right out of the box, still with factory grinds on it. I guarantee you, just need to do that. So I told him when I left, I said, the chisels are going home with me. Now Dennis has a sharp set of chisels for you.
This is my latest box I built for my daughter. Her middle name is Faith, so it's walnut, Purple Heart. It's got bird's eye shape on the bottom and barrel hinges, so it's kind of hidden hinges. It's just something simple. The lid probably took the hardest because I got to cut this in 2 pieces. So I put the Purple Heart in, glue it all back together, then cut it again, put the Purple Heart in that way so it goes all the way through. And it goes all the way through on the inside too. And I just build it as one piece, just cut the top off. And that way it puts back together. My wife is a teacher. She asked me to make some Christmas gifts for her friends, and my daughter helped. So, 2x4s, laminate them together, put them on the lathe, turn the pencils to a point, and then on the top, just drilled some holes in them. So now we got a pencil caddy.
Pencil-shaped pencil holder.
Super simple, super easy. So, I hope they enjoy it. Miss Taylor, Mrs. Levens, and Ms. Johnson.
Nice.
Forgive me, I'm terrible with faces. Is Robert McCullough here tonight?
I don't think Robert, I know he's not gonna renew.
Oh, I got a video for him.
He lives up Six Flags.
Okay, set this down. I wasn't intending on bringing both items, but somebody said they wanted to see what this looked like when I was done with it. This came to me in 3 pieces, and a friend of mine was turning it and it blew up on him in pieces. I don't know if any of y'all saw on Facebook what I started with, but it was pretty rough, pretty ugly. And I've salvaged it, and I only wound up losing an inch off the top because there was just 2 big notches knocked out of it that I started to leave, and it just didn't look good. So I went ahead and turned about an inch off the top, so I had a finished top. And then I had to put it was a little tricky to get it turned when it comes to in pieces. But what I really intended to bring is my chest set. It's made out of a piece of katapa that I got from this guy.
What's his name?
Yeah, what's his name? It had a split in it, and so I used that split as where I cut this in half. And I used lots of different things that I've seen, some different ones here and stuff. I made bandsaw boxes. I cut it in half, and then I turned it into bandsaw boxes. And then I turned all the chest pieces. The white pieces are turned out of, this is basswood. This is the second one I did. The first one I did, I gave one of my grandsons. And the chest pieces were out of walnut and maple, but I didn't have enough maple to turn these this time. I also made a tic-tac-toe board that fits inside it. I made a set of checkers. Again, these are made out of bass and walnut. On one side they got Texas burned on. And these I started out with square pieces of wood. I didn't start out with dowels. I took just rough pieces of wood, turned them. These were about 13 millimeters.
Wow.
And then I did that. Another thing I've learned here, when we did our flocking class, I went to Hobby Lobby. The manager of Hobby Lobby didn't know this sold flocking. We asked, honest, my wife walked up and said, no, the only flocking we got's for Christmas. But I'm like, oh, and it said they had it. So we wandered around enough, and they had 5 or 6 different colors. So as we left, I did show her what the flocking was. But I find it rather easy to do. I mean, it's not like, I don't think it's that perfect, but the chest pieces, in case you're wondering, took over 2 days of nothing but turning to make all the chest pieces. And the checkers, I spent another day. And then once I turned them, I did cut them out on the bandsaw, and I'm still looking for some of the pieces because you're not real careful when you take it will relocate itself. And the top of it is real quick to finish. I didn't make individual pieces. I laid this out, I covered it. I figured I wanted to make it as big as I possibly could. So I covered the top of this with just blue painter's tape, and then put it on my laser. I got an X tool. And lasered it, and then I tore off that other square, and I painted it black. And of course, like everything I do, it's finished in polyurethane.
Nice.
All right.
So I'm Brandon. 2 years ago, this was the first thing I ever made out of wood, because my wife yelled at me to get our stuff off the ground. Because when we moved to Burleson, we sold our entertainment center. So she said, get it off the ground so I can vacuum underneath it. So I threw this together with the miter saw she bought me for our anniversary. And I just finished its replacement, which is that. So my wife is happy. You can see the drawers are made out of a single piece of everything is all the trim and everything is black walnut except for the stained plywood, which is, well, stained, but it's Rubio.
But you can see the top is made out of a single piece, so all the grain matches, even in the styles. And then the bottom is made out of a single piece, so the grain goes all the way across. The corners you can't see from this picture, but they're mitered. And then the top is made out of a live edge slab that I just cut the back off, so it'll fit against the wall. And yeah.
Very good.
I got one.
You got one?
This is for my son-in-law for Christmas. He was on the Navy on Hills, Nevada. Usually sub, so I found the roots online and created on the CNC. And then he's not getting the gun.
Don't like it damaged.
Very nice, very nice.
That's awesome.
So if you guys want to come up and look at it.
Did you just get the lock set from like Amazon or?
Yeah. It's like $20 for a set of tools.
Oh, wow.
Is it a magnet?
That's an RFID computer. $20 for 2 of them. And then the magnets are like $9 for 7 of them. All works 60
Very cool. Well, I didn't know that I have been mentoring for the last 3 months. This is Liz Walker, one of Liz Walker's pieces of work. It's awesome. She won't stand up and take credit.
That's neat stuff.
It is. And keep in mind, like I say, this lady has not done this kind of woodwork. She's made picnic tables and outdoor furniture and stuff, but nothing with women. Alright? This is done with a router, table, finger joint jig. Okay? This is straight off of that jig of yesterday. She assembled it yesterday morning. This box was completed yesterday afternoon in implant. This was no setups, no nothing. I set cut the first 4 slots
And I'm scared of
and
it.
ensured that it made everything fit. And turned her loose and walked away.
Wow.
Good job,
Those look 100% better than the one you showed on Facebook.
Well, that's a different, the dovetails are way harder than that.
She's gonna do hand cut dovetail. But I want you to keep in mind what this box looks like now, and then we'll bring it back in the next couple, 3 months as we progress more on it. Put lids and finish it up.
Hopefully we're gonna take 3 months on that one. Hopefully it'll look more like one of their boxes.
All right, let's go with the raffle now.
Hey, Deputy, real quick. Just my monthly reminder, we do have a website out there where we have shared documents, ctww.club. And I know I made this presentation at the banquet, but I'll show you guys again. I'm not putting it out on Facebook. I'm not putting it out for public consumption, because this is for you guys that show up to the meetings. So, but one of the things that came up is Kevin talked to me about websites and things like that, and having some folks who can do some of this work. I know, Jay, you talked about maybe having some interest in this as well. I did did get a note from Michael Whittington. He has bought and paid for our domain. If you don't know what that means, basically, if we want a presence out there on the internet, we gotta pay for it. That type of thing. So he sent me a note saying that he got like a 50% off thing to grab the name for the entire year from Wix, and I can talk to the board about what he sent so you guys can discuss it. And if it needs to come to a vote for us to pay Michael back for that. But this is the site that we want to continue to develop and just put things on there that are of interest to our club, the most important of which, in my opinion, is the file sharing, where we've got articles from Woodsmith and other periodicals and books and magazines and things like that that are for you guys. So, visit it, if you think it's worth the money, and we need to vote on it, then we'll do that. That's ctww.club.
That says CTT. Okay.
Oh, well, that's just a typo in there, but if you look up here where you type in the name of the thing, ctww.chisholm-woodworkers.club.
So this is something that we did from the get-go. We had a website that we were using, but it didn't really get developed. It didn't really get used by the club members. Yeah. Like he said, it was free, so it was really, kind of hard to navigate, that sort of thing. I got on it a couple of times. Each time I did, I had to sign in. I hate sign-ins. It just didn't work for me. But here in the last couple of weeks, we had a woman come to this site, and she wanted a puppet theater built for her family, her kids, whatever. And she had a dollar amount in mind. She wanted to know if somebody could do that. And Jeff took it and ran with it, and he built her. She provided a picture, and it was very basic. What he gave her was anything but basic, and she was totally thrilled with it. If we were to monitor it all the time, if you go in there, you might find some people that want something you make. And you might be able to put stuff out there that you do make. Let's try to make this a success where the last one was.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, spit and wheel payout time now. Yeah, help me out.
So we need to put the name.
You did.
No, but my pocket was not good.
Just don't put it in your plans.
We're not done though.
Well, give them to me, I'll put my name on
There's only a season next
Put them in the field for you. You can't get us there.
it. Jim Farrell.
Who is Jim Farrell?
Don't learn his name tag.
Yeah.
Could be anybody.
Hey, Jim, up here.
Okay. So let's go ahead and get started on our raffle. You want to start down here? Or the-
Got a part, a hat, or a shirt?
Choice of a hat or a shirt. Paul Long. Here's the captains to you. May I have your sign here?
Mike Fry.
is that gun holder. You get that gun.
This one's Jerry.
It's a woodcraft card, right?
$25 push
Change your picture.
Change your picture, sir.
Bobby.
Yay! And they're both mine.
Bobby.
Bobby. Yeah, you got all one.
She's getting a picture of you.
My wife knew so excited, I got wood.
Show us what you're drawing for there.
And what?
Bobby, tell us what you're drawing for. Does anybody else get anything? No?
Yeah. Please hold mine.
They're on palm. Don K.
Which one did you say? Melvin? Don K?
Oh,
Don K.
Don.
Trust fund steward.
This is a carbon kit from Woodworkers.
And you see Justin? Oh, we'll take it.
Kevin. Don't sit down. Don K.
We need a sweater from that. What is that?
Wood.
Big wood.
Oh,
Do we know
Don,
what kind?
did I get your picture?
No, you was right.
I did not. Let me get your picture. I'm sorry.
Brandon.
Got it.
JK. Woo!
I'll get you your 20 later.
All right.
Oh, my gosh. Jake, you got a truck for that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, okay, stand next to it so I can get a picture.
Steve Melvin.
So you're gonna turn that in one piece on the load?
Video well is.
Yeah. Like a red post out of it?
Okay, now I have to take your picture.
Steve Melvin. That can fit on your leg. Which one was this? JK.
My first 20 are you want the
It's okay.
small ball. Yeah, my last one.
Miranda.
Big guitar.
What's this? Trust fund.
Spent all my money on this ticket.
Drop it. Doing all right? Jump.
Again, appreciate everybody coming out tonight. You all have a safe holiday celebration. Enjoy your safe travels. Very, very